Hello everyone, my name is Carol and welcome aboard to Knitting on the Hook. A cousin of mine who's the ultimate gearhead was having a birthday and I wanted to knit him a sweater that would reflect his personality. So I came up with this idea of the tie thread sweater for him, which is a modified drop shoulder knitted in multiple panels, and when the panels are seamed together they create the front and the back of the sweater. Also, the neckband, which is knitted by hand, is using two colors, so there is a little bit of intarsia knitting involved in this process. But fear not, you will find all the information for the pattern in the description below, as well as a link to a tutorial on how to knit the tie thread pattern. So in this particular tutorial, I'm going to mainly focus on showing you how to seam the panels together and how to knit the neckband. So let's get to it. These schematics represent the back and the front of the sweater. And when these pieces are seamed together, it creates one piece of fabric. And remember that in machine knitting, the purl side always faces the knitter, and this is what these schematics represent. Because we have multiple pieces to knit, it can get a little confusing when we start shaping which side the carriage has to be. So when you reach an odd number, the carriage will be on your left, and when you reach an even number, the carriage will be on your right. You can knit one panel at a time or two by casting on using two different skeins of yarn. The limitation is the width of the needle bed. You need to have enough room between each panels for the carriage to move freely on the needles that are in non-working position. And let me show you how to do this. This is the tie thread that I'm working on, and after manipulating the left and the right side, knit across the right side and unthread the carriage. Rethread using the left yarn, knit across and back and stay between the panels, unthread the carriage and rethread with the right yarn. To seam the three sections together, line up the cast off edge of the shoulder and the cast off edge of the neck. To make an even transition between the tie thread and the stockinette stitch, this is how I do it. Pick up the two bars between the stockinette stitch on the sweater, pull the yarn through, and leave it loose. Pick up two bars on the tie thread at the edge of the stockinette stitch and pull the yarn through. This is the schematic for the neckband, and as I mentioned earlier, it is knitted in two colors, A, our main color, and B, the tie thread color. And although we're knitting with circular needles, it is not knitted in a round because we will have a seam right here on the back, and on the front, this is where the intarsia will happen. Starting with color A, on the right back, pick up 52 stitches to the edge of the tie thread. Change to color B and pick up 17 stitches. We're now ready to start with row 1, which means we start with color B. We're going to be coming back. Once we reach the edge of color A, this is where the intarsia will happen, and I do have a little video that I'm going to show you how to do this. We're going to be crossing the yarns and carry on with color A to finish the row. On row 2, starting with color A, we're going to come back to the front. Once we reach the edge of color B, we're going to cross the yarn and finish the row with color B. Once these two rows are established, you're going to repeat them 24 times, and at row 27, you're going to do an elastic cast off. You're going to turn the sweater inside out, fold the neck in half, and loosely seam the cast off edge with the pickup edge. This is the last stitch on the front of the neck before we change color. And in intarsia, we need to cross the yarn together so that each yarn carries through from row to row. Maintain a little bit of tension on the back, and because I'm knitting a purl stitch, I'm going to bring the black yarn forward and purl. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching Knitting on the Hook. Bye for now.